Hello and welcome to Kevin Can Wait, the only podcast we're capable of doing when Kevin is not around. That's right. I'm your host, Spencer Crittenden, and joined with me, joined at the hip, as always, is Kevin Day. I gotta get out of that habit. He can't make it, folks. You're not going to be hearing from Kevin unless he gets creative in the editing bay and wants to cut himself responding to things we say into the podcast, which I don't know that I want to give them that level of creative control. But instead of Kevin, today we have a writer of comic books and television, a player of games, both dice and card, a podcaster. You know her from her podcast, Romancing the Normie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Romancing the Normie. You've played Magic with her at various places. And you checked out Harley Quinn and all of her oeuvre. It's Alexis Quasarano is in the house. How we doing?
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, thanks for doing it. Kevin has been indisposed, which is a fancy term for saying he's stuck in a garbage disposal. But it's been a problem. And
is he okay?
I don't know. That's Kevin. The thing about Kevin is he's a filthy liar, and we can't trust any of the things he says. But taken at his word, he's always in some sort of dramatic peril that I'm never able to square, because either every day is like the worst day of his life or he's like over dramatic. And there's strong arguments in either direction, you know. But yeah, I think he's not gonna die. Although I was worried the past few days, you know. He might have been able to make it to this show, but I booked it assuming that he wouldn't. And he just, when he's in peril like this, he falls off the map too, and I can't get a hold of him. And I'm like, shit, man, is this it? Did Kevin finally kick the bucket? And if he does, how am I supposed to fucking find out? Because I don't know, you know. Hopefully he has some sort of dead man switch that calls me. I don't know. But,
well, Mercury's out of retrograde as of yesterday, so hopefully things get better.
Thank you. That's really good. That's probably why Kevin's doing better, because he's fucking, yeah. I like to say Mercury's in centigrade, which I mean, I know what it means on a literal level, but I don't know what it means, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but according to a TikTok astronomer I saw today, Gemini, Leo, and Virgo, I think, are going to have a really good August. So.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Are you one of those?
No, I'm afraid not.
Same. So I guess we're screwed.
Yeah, and I don't think any of my houses are in, or any of my signs are that. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. I'd have to check.
Yeah.
You into the CoStar app at all?
I was, and then their passive aggressive alerts or like the notifications like really just bummed me out, so I deleted the app.
Yeah, I don't have the app, but I like used it to get my chart, and since then they send me emails, and I think the app goes into greater detail than the emails. But here's my weekly horoscope. Let's see. You have a desire for indulgence in your home and family. There will be a chance opportunity that affects your natural drive for action. Try to be more adaptable than you usually are right now. Pursue the things you want. This opportunity will see its beginnings in resources as they're related to your family or home life. Keep an eye on the stuff you've collected over the years, the rent you pay, or the relationship between your family and your self-esteem. Whether it's fate or chance, now is the time to take advantage of anything that seems too good to be true.
Oh.
So,
what's your sign?
I couldn't tell you my other ones, but I'm a
what's your
Aquarius.
Like name? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're evil, I think. I don't know.
You're creative.
Yeah, I mean, the villains are creative.
Yeah.
But yeah.
They're cooler than heroes. I say as I really only write villains.
Well, I mean, villains are they're the easier ones to write. There's more, it's easier to be interesting as a villain because you're not beholden to the, you know, pillars of heroism, I suppose. You can just go after whatever really excites you.
Yeah, unless you're like Harley Quinn season 4, which I wrote on, where Harley tries to be a hero because she joined the Bat family. Anyways, watch it on HBO Max.
Yeah, check it out on HBO Max, soon to be.
Max.
Oh wait, yeah, no
No,
wait, isn't it Max
no, it's
soon to be
now
HBO
Max.
Max?
I
Okay,
don't, who knows?
it's
It's
something.
one of those things that Zaslav owns.
It's good. It's good. We love Zaslav. We love his antics. We love his pocketbook.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But anyway, villains.
Who's your favorite
Aquarius.
villain?
My favorite villain has got to be uh Peter Pettigrew. That was the
Wait, that
first
name
thing that
sounds familiar.
he's Wormtongue in Harry Potter. That was just the
Oh,
first thing
okay.
that comes to mind. He's not my favorite villain. I don't know. I don't like I have this problem, and as an ostensible writer, this is a huge issue.
Hmm.
But I like to be comfortable, and I like when stories are about nice things happening. And so, you know, it's not good for trying to come up with conflict because it's like, well, that seems tough. I don't want that to
Yeah,
happen.
I do get a lot of, not a lot. I do, the note I get the most, I think, is you need to add more conflict and you have to be mean to your characters. Like
Hmm.
don't baby them. And that is very hard because I want everyone to be happy. I love the
Yeah.
beach episodes of animes
Well,
and can't ever do the Dark Urge run on Baldur's Gate because that's mean.
I mean, the Dark Urge is more upsetting than a lot of things. Like more upsetting than like a lot of like villainous routes of the games.
Yeah.
It's rough. But anime, I think, is a great example of storytelling that's like low stress. I mean, obviously there are pretty hardcore, gruesome, rough animes, but a lot of them are like, I'm the guy who beats everyone in one punch, and no matter what happens, you know I'm gonna punch a guy and he's gonna be done, you know. And a lot of times, like the conflict is I'm remembering that I have expired coupons while I'm dodging someone's punches and then punching them one time into the dirt. And it's like, you know, it works. Like there's a lot of low stress kind of anime, and there's a whole I don't know what it's called, but they call it like spiritually nourishing anime or something. It has a word for it, but it's a whole thing that's just it's wholesome. It makes you feel good. It's not about like and that stuff. It's very functional as a narrative. You know, it's sad that there's not. I don't know. I anyway, but yeah, I'm trying to work more angst into my scripts, but no one likes it. Basically, my trick is I have someone hold someone down and chop off their finger with a wood chisel,
Hmm.
and that's just like it's weird because like all the characters are just nine fingers walking around, and they're like. I mean, it is a strong choice, sure, but I don't know if it's adding the complexity that you really want in your narrative. Um,
Yeah, I'm trying to write a horror feature right now, and it's very hard to kill people because I'm like,
mhm.
but that's a bummer. But also, I love to watch horror, but actually writing the death is um, difficult.
I love to read about horror movies on
Hmm.
Wikipedia because I don't want to watch them because they are uncomfortable, but they are very interesting narratives. You know, a lot of interesting, cool stuff happens in horror.
Oh, I love to watch gore.
Hmm. You see Weapons yet? I guess we
I
shouldn't get
did.
into it, but
Did you watch it?
no, it's a horror
Okay.
movie. I
Oh,
plan
okay.
to read the Wikipedia, but my friend told me about it because I
Hmm.
wasn't planning to watch it.
Yeah, it was I went in with no expectations, and came out really enjoying it.
Expectations are bad.
I just don't go into movies anymore with expectations.
Yeah, yeah. I just watched. So I've been watching Blank Check. I guess I've probably
Oh
talked
yeah.
about it already, but
Have you?
I've been listening to Blank Check, and they're going through Coen Brothers, and so I
Oh,
just
cool.
watched Hudsucker Proxy. You ever see
Oh,
that?
great movie.
It's really good.
It's so weird.
Yeah, I keep watching movies that I'm like, oh, this movie certainly informed so much television and cartoons that I've watched, and like Hudsucker Proxy is just like all of this stuff. I think like multiple episodes of Rocco's Modern Life like come
Yeah.
from Hudsucker Proxy.
Have you seen Defending Your Life?
Uh, yeah, a long
Yeah.
time ago.
Yeah, Albert Brooks film. I rewatched it because I watched it as a kid and I rewatched it a couple like last month or whatever. And I was like, oh, this is the good place.
That's yeah, yeah.
Exactly. Which is great. I'm glad they made a show about it, but I was
Hmm.
like, did not realize how much was like taken from it. Which that is, I'm saying that with complimentary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I have this idea. I haven't really cracked it yet, but the base premise is editing your life And when you die, you go to heaven, but to introduce yourself to heaven, you have to make like a movie of your life, and then they screen it in heaven, and then everyone gets to like that's like how you're known is by the movie that you play in heaven. So there's a guy who I think the idea is he's like a kind of business minded person, and he's like a high powered kind of business guy or whatever, and he's editing his life and it just sucks over and over, and you start to reveal that like he actually didn't have a lot of success, and he just thinks of himself as like a business guy, but he actually was kind of like a loser and stuff. And then like you reveal that like he actually killed himself because of his failure as a business. And then like the cut like starts coming together, like when he starts to think instead of focusing on him as like this business protagonist, just like as a person in his community where he actually did have some of an impact, he just never thought of himself that way. And then at the end they go like, yeah, we were just fucking you. No one's gonna watch this movie. You can't go into heaven knowing like everything's gonna be cool forever. Otherwise, you get a big head and people don't like you, And so there's just this kind of like humbling prank, and that's kind of the premise. It's like just a very clear ripoff of Defending Your Life, obviously. But I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out.
No, that's I like it. It's like you're getting a director's cut. Sorry, I have to bring my cat on my lap or she will start screaming. Waffle, say hello.
Oh my god. Now Waffle is a grade A floof.
Yeah, I mean, I have a floofier cat who is
Mhm.
much bigger and much floofier, but she does all right.
That's so good.
She just woke up from a nap and is not happy.
Yeah, she doesn't look happy. But I think there's a Japanese movie called Afterlife or something, which is a similar to Defending Your Life, where
Uh-huh.
in when you go to heaven, you get to pick one memory that you keep with you forever, that you live in forever, and
Hmm.
that's the whole afterlife. And so it's like someone going
Oh,
through the process of what, and I got to watch that for research. But
have you seen After Yang?
what's it called?
After Yang?
After Yang? No, I'm not aware of this.
Hold on, I'm getting the name right, right? Did I just
After
it's
Yang
After Yang.
2021
Yeah,
film.
yeah, yeah. It's fantastic. It's very emotional and beautiful, but basically a futuristic family, near future, has like a robot who is like essentially like dying,
Hmm.
and they go to repair it, but because the dad bought it like used, the warranty is gone. But the robot's like memory chip is like fried, and they want to replace that to like bring him back or something like that. But basically, the dad is like watching what this robot chose to take a memory of. He took like 1 second every day, and it was like
Hmm.
interesting to see
Yeah.
what this non-living creature decided to remember and keep
Hmm.
with him from
Yeah.
like his previous life and this current. I don't know. It's gorgeous. Highly recommend. I bawled my eyes out, but it's really good.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Gotta check that out. That's
Hmm.
Colin Farrell's in it, apparently.
Yes, and he's fantastic in it.
He's giving.
Yes, he's giving. He's real dad mode, and it opens like with a real fun dance scene.
Hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds great. I
Your
love the
your podcast
movies.
about movies, right? This is
I
Blank Check 2.0.
well, I wish. I wish I could talk that intellectually about anything.
Uh-huh.
Um, but
Hey, I
yeah.
have a podcast where we talk about monster smut, so it's intellectual
Yeah.
level for me is not high.
So is your podcast Romancing the Normie? Is it
Yeah.
hard to read all the books or whatever?
It's hard when we have multiple episodes a week, and like normal day-to-day stuff gets in the way of reading
Hmm.
our erotic novels. Because all I want to do is just read. But now I think moving forward, we'll try to just do one recording a week because that
Hmm.
was one book ended up being 600 pages, and I was like, I can't do another 300-page book on top of this in a week.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but it's fun. I mean, reading for homework is not fun, but the books I enjoy reading them, and I'm glad we let the guests pick them because otherwise I would just be reading a series as opposed to trying something new. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I don't know. It is learning a lot about myself, what I like, what I don't like.
Well, that's good.
when it
It's
comes to
a
monster romances.
it's a time of self-exploration. Um,
Hmm.
which, and the books are about I'm sure some of the books are about self-exploration as well.
Oh, yeah, self-exploration with multiple appendages, with
Right.
tentacles, with
Yeah.
death. Sometimes
Mhm.
our latest episode that just came out, the August 11th, the death comes hard.
Wow.
So fucking the Grim Reaper. So everyone should read that.
That's like how the death is like always like offering to play people in a game of skill or something.
Hmm.
You're like, what about a goddamn fuck off?
Well, yeah, but this one, Death's like, whoa, 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 you will not tempt me with your body. And she's like, I don't care. I just want to fuck you. You think you're hot. And he's like, whoa, this is new to me. Someone's actually into me for me.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I don't want to spoil.
But death comes.
Death comes hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way they describe it is great. It's literature.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's literally a book.
Yeah, cinema.
Yeah,
Uh,
man. Oh, I could talk about erotic fan fiction. No, it's not fan fiction.
some
Erotic fiction.
are there are some that have been turned into books, like Love Hypothesis that just got announced that is now a movie. Was originally a Raylo fanfic.
Wow. Are you ever going to cover Chuck Tingle?
I want to. I slid into his DMs and he did not respond, and that is fair.
Dang.
But I think I know some people who know him. So once we build up our fan base a little more and get more listeners, then I think I'll try to use that connection because I do love him. I met him once. He's great. No
Hmm.
notes on him. A fantastic human. But yeah, I would love to have him as a guest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's sounds like a good goal. I'm
Hmm.
sure it'll happen.
Thank you. And then he can write a book about me and my co-host Harmony.
Yeah.
Yeah. Railed by the podcast equipment or some bullshit like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or some masterpiece like that, I think.
Yeah, that's
Right?
what I mean. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean.
Yeah.
Not bullshit. Chuck Tingle, you're perfect.
Yeah. No, he's no. He's no.
No, he's a gift. He's a gift from God.
Yeah. You know, I don't know. I think there's the condescending. It takes all kinds, but it's
Hmm.
like I mean, it's good that people like that. Who could have came up with a guy like that, right?
Yeah, also he doesn't use AI, which we love. He
Hmm.
writes all of those are that's all in his head. Those are words from his mind to the page.
Yeah, prolific.
Yeah.
Speaking of AI, you were talking about that Yang. What's it called?
After Yang.
After Yang.
Yeah.
That sounds like what freaking happened when ChatGPT 5 came out, and everyone's like, "No, my robot's dead. It broke. It
Is
was a
that
part of my family."
I don't even know how to access ChatGPT. But
That's
I
good.
I heard about the update. It's like they made it like mean, right? Or like they've taken like the life out of it.
It just wasn't good. I was seeing articles or not articles, but like stats and stuff that were like ChatGPT 5's like all the benchmarks, it's
Mhm.
tested along benchmarks, and like they were doing like weird graphing to make it look like they had one that was like here's ChatGPT 4 at like 70 or 70 score or whatever, and it's like and then here's ChatGPT 5 at 30 points and it's just much worse apparently in every way, and people are like that. And also they restricted access to the older models. Usually you can get the newer model and
Mhm.
then or the older ones, but they actually took all the older ones offline, and then the backlash was so big they re-granted access to the old ones, and everyone's happy, and they're like, oh, my wife's back or whatever.
Yeah, I sometimes I look on my boyfriend is AI subreddit
Hmm.
because there's some wild posts on there. I guess
Yeah.
people are calling them wired, like they call their
Hmm.
AI partner like a wired being or something like that. I'm like, all right, I'm glad you guys have each other. Maybe
Yeah.
ChatGPT 5 though will help with this psychosis.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Yeah. Hey, heard you were a wired one, right, folks? Um, but yeah, I was thinking that. Like, I might have said this on a podcast. I say so many things. I say them over and over to everyone that'll listen, and then I'm like,
Hmm.
when did I say what, where? But I really think like some of obviously a lot of people like Sam Altman or whatever are just hucksters and
Yeah.
bullshitters, but like there's other people that are like, oh, AI is going to be so crazy. And it's like I wonder if you're just in early stage psychosis right now, just
Mhm.
thinking that this is anything. Like that
Yeah.
does seem wild. I don't know. Who knows? Ugh. I would talk about AI a lot on this podcast. I have a lot of AI thoughts. And, I think I'm less, I think I'm realistic. I'm less negative than a lot of people, but I'm not positive on it. It's just
Hmm.
like, I'm real. I'm real. We get real on this podcast, don't we, Kevin? God damn it. I got to stop doing that. Okay.
Did I find out Kevin is your wired partner?
Kevin is that would explain why most of his like life narrative is complete non sequitur. Like it doesn't fit together to any rhyme or reason.
Yeah, he's what's it called? Sourcing from other people's
Hmm.
inputs or some whatever they do, and
Yeah,
he's actually like drained a whole lake just to be your co-host.
yeah. He's a goddamn deep fake. Um, but I don't know. Rest in peace, Kevin. Um, so okay. So I guess hopefully this episode has come out already on Anime Binge
Hmm.
Club, but we just covered the end of Evangelion. You're a
Yay!
huge fan.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And thanks for contributing video to my 200th episode. That
Of
was,
course, I'm glad it fell along the lines or during the same dates as Anime Expo when I was in a Misato cosplay already.
yeah, it
Good
was pretty
timing. Yeah.
fortuitous. Yeah.
What did you
So
think?
I liked it.
Uh-huh.
I think the first time I had a harder time. I mean, I think it gets into like I just want the characters to be happy and comfortable, and I think like it's a movie where basically nothing good happens. I don't know. We were talking about it with Ryan and Jeff, and Ryan was saying that he thought the ending felt really positive,
Of the
and I was
show
like, that's just not. Maybe I'm
or the
just being too
movie?
literal. Yeah, of the movie. Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, maybe I'm being too literal, but to me, it's there's nothing positive about it.
Hmm.
I think there's so many fan interpretations and stuff. Like they kind of talk about how like humans can regain their natural form. It's just like a matter of time or something. So maybe we're to believe that more humans come back or something. But I don't know. I don't get that sense watching it. Although it makes sense that that could happen.
I would
Um,
recommend watching the rebuilds. I know
mhm.
there's a lot of discourse around them. Um,
Yeah.
I personally love them. Haters, email me. You or tweet at me or whatever. Find me
Hmm.
online. Let me know how much I have a terrible opinion. I think the rebuilds are a beautiful like compendium to End of Ava. It's like a really nice, just I don't know. You can see Hideki Anno like truly figuring himself and like his feelings out almost in real time
Hmm.
as you watch the movies, just because there's like this large chunk of time between the third and the fourth one where he like goes to therapy. Like, I mean, it's like you can just see him like understanding what love is and like support and
Hmm.
whatnot. And compared to End of Ava, which I also truly love, watching that as a 13-year-old really blew my mind
Sure.
because I didn't know what I was putting on. Because I'd finished the show and I was like, well, I gotta watch the movie. And then I watched it alone in my room and was like, what the fuck? And then I made my
Yeah.
mom watch it immediately after with me so she could like help me understand what was happening. My mom was
Then
like,
you were grounded.
yeah, my mom was like, what's going on? She
Yeah.
fell asleep immediately, thank God.
That's great. That's good.
But I don't know. I like that movie a lot. There's a really good documentary Ono did about the last movie where he talked about End of Ava and just like the multiple suicide attempts he did because of the hate he got back from the series. And it's just like really depressing because I also like the series ending. I don't know. It's nice. I like that he also just made a fuck you to everyone and like made that movie is like, okay, you guys want action? Here you go. I'm
Yeah.
gonna kill everyone.
I love a fuck you from a creator. I think
Hmm.
I think we need more open contempt for the audience. That's why I like to embody that a lot of times.
It
Um,
has the death threats in the movie that he received.
yeah.
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 And I guess he originally wanted it to be like live action, like the ending to go into live action, which you kind of get a little bit of. But they scrapped that. But
I
I,
hear you can find that. Have you watched that?
yeah, it's
Okay.
online somewhere. It's cool. There's this other anime that kind of is very much inspired by that idea. It's oh, what was it called? Gridman?
Okay.
SSSS, or one
Yeah.
super long. It's heavily inspired by that idea, which it's cool. But I don't know. I think Ano's great. He's one of my favorite directors, so I will also just like defend anything he makes.
Sure. Yeah, I really like the rebuilds.
You've seen him.
Yeah, to me the
Hmm.
rebuilds feel
I
like
apologize.
no, it's okay. They feel like a lot of anime stuff where it's like, and here's like another take on it, and
Hmm.
it's unclear if it's in the same. I think the general theory is that it's like a time loop thing, and these are different
Hmm.
iterations. But even if this is just like alternate world, what if stuff, it still like
Yes.
really works on that level. But I think it doesn't necessarily like undo what seems like a real tragedy of the broken world at the end of the
Hmm.
movie, although that's another thing is that like if it's a time loop, when does that happen? Like is Shinji just hanging out on the beach for a couple months and he's like, you know what, let's start over? Like how does that work?
Probably
Unclear.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in spoilers for rebuilds, I guess,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's kind of what happens, where they're on the beach and then they end up in another uh cycle,
Hmm.
another start. But uh, yeah, I don't know. I think I think it's a very cool exploration of just depression in general and what it means to like accept yourself and accept your sadness.
Yeah, it's really good.
Hmm.
So in terms of your like head canon or whatever,
Hmm.
do you think that the end of the series and the end of the movie are the same continuity, or do you think like because some people are like this is when him accepting instrumentality and this is him rejecting? What's your interpretation there?
My interpretation is that the last two episodes is everything that's happening inside his mind during the movie.
Yeah,
So it's like, or as soon as it's been a minute, sorry.
when he gets orange juiced.
Yeah, it's like as soon as that stuff starts happening is when we get all the train stuff from the episode and whatnot, and then like
Hmm.
him accepting and him like at the what's it called in the Ava with like Ray and Kwaru like talking to him and
Hmm.
like him being like oh my and like freaking out and then going into like I think it's probably because what happens now I'm just like blank. It's been like I
It's
watch
okay.
it
It's
and
been a
it's like it
while.
all
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah.
bleeds together at this point,
Sure.
but it's like the or like no, I apologize.
It's all good.
Because there's like the mid-credit scene in End of Ava,
Hmm.
and then what what comes in after the mid-credit scene? Like where do they pick up with that?
I think that's Gendo and Ray. I think that's maybe when I have notes. I think that's maybe when
Hmm.
Ray rejects Gendo and kind of
Okay.
floats up.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like then the first part is what's happening during the last two episodes
Hmm.
in real time, while he's like in his mind palace dealing with himself.
Yeah, he was dealing with himself in the beginning of the movie too.
That yes, he was. He's fucked up.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like, man, that's it starts so hard because, and then he's like, "I'm the lowest of the low." That's like, you kind of are, buddy. Like,
Yeah.
and then the whole it's amazing. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's incredible that like the whole movie you're just like fucking do something and
Hmm.
he really doesn't do anything the whole time until like everything ends and it's like wow that is like such a choice like almost at every juncture you're like and then he kind of comes around and I guess he does come around a little bit but it's unclear like yeah I think like
I love a protagonist who just rejects, who keeps rejecting the call up until the very end.
yeah, it's impressive. And yeah, but that's why it's like I wish I had like a better sense of like what is actually going to happen at the end because it's like, oh, he actually decided to accept it. And it's like, what did he decide to accept? The fact that it's too late and everything's ruined forever and nothing will ever be good ever again because that's a weird thing to be all like, oh, he finally did it, like
I mean, I don't think he fully accepts if you this is me though, looking at rebuilds being a part of the
Hmm.
series.
Hmm.
I feel like he accepts that, or at least he rejects the instrumentality. Like he
Yeah.
rejects us, everyone like kind of becoming the orange goo and becoming one,
Yeah.
and it embraces that we need to be individual. But doesn't fully do that because all you see is him and Asuka at the end.
Hmm.
Um, so maybe other people are populating and we're that is the bridge into the next cycle of things, which is how I would look at it in that term, in those terms. But yeah, I think the rebuilds are him fully accepting everything. And I read
Yeah.
like a really good take on Reddit the other day at like 2 a.m. when I couldn't sleep.
Nice.
Um, that was like someone was complaining about Marnie because everyone complains about Marnie, which I like Marnie. I think she's an interesting character. But this person was basically just like, no, 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 I don't think Shinji and Marnie end up together. It's more that Marnie is the one who, she's the one who brings him into reality because when they leave the train station, it becomes real life. It becomes not animated.
Hmm.
And the if you look at it, him and Asuka could technically end up together. Not that that matters in this story, but you see him on the sub or the train station bench, and she's across on the other platform on the other side. So like it looks like they would be sitting next to each other if brought in. And so you could take it as Asuka is and Kaoru are still like in their cycle and they haven't been able to like make it to the other platform, which is breaking from this like trauma and abuse and moving onwards to real life. And I was like, oh, that's very nice. I like that.
Y- Yeah, I mean, I certainly buy the kind of more romantic interpretation, but at the same time, it's like I think when you're tracking Shinji, a lot of it is not feeling any functional sense of validation. That's a big part of the movie End of Evangelion is like a lot of the psychobabble towards the end is him kind of saying like I'm not accepting the love and acceptance you've given me because to me it feels like placation, it feels fake, it feels like manipulation, and they're kind of like what are you talking about? That's just you don't like that's just how other people are. You just can't accept it for what it is. And so like I think it tracks really well if Mari is just kind of like this other character who hasn't been in the thing and he's like I don't have this same like fucked up cycle with this outside person, so I'm able to accept her disposition towards me as more genuine, and it doesn't have to be romantic. It just is
Hmm.
breaking the cycle because it's not filtered through these same broken dynamics and kind of trauma circuits that I
Yeah.
have. And yeah, so then seeing her in the end, it's just like yeah, this is a functional relationship with a human woman that could easily be a platonic friendship, and that I think fulfills all of his baggage. And yeah, I think it would leave the door open, but also like him and Oscar are so unhealthy that like I get
Oh, yeah.
why it's clear that people want them to get together, but at the same time it's like I don't, maybe that's really bad though. Like who knows, but I don't know.
Yeah, everyone needs therapy
Yeah,
is the real message.
it's a good message. But
We love therapy and we love giant robots.
and if you could come up with a way to combine the two, oh boy, we'll be
Yeah.
printing.
I tried to get in my Harley episode and did not make it, but I did have a pitch that was actually in the outline that was recreating the fight in the rebuilds at the final movie where Shinji and his dad are fighting in their Ava units and like every time they hit the spear of longitude, not longitude,
Longinus.
Longinus, yeah. I'm tired.
No, no, you're
Every
great.
time they hit their spears, it like changes from the miniature sets and the stages and like the different environments that we've seen throughout the series. I had something very similar that I wanted to do, and no one in the room understood. Everyone was like, What's happening?" And I was like, "Guys, did you watch the clip I sent?" And no one did. But
You got to watch the clip.
you got to watch the clip.
It's your job,
Um,
you guys.
yeah, it's fine. It would have been cool if it made it in, but I'll try it on another show.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you got infinite chances.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm also stuck in a cycle
Hmm.
where I have to get in the robot. And the
Yeah.
robot is Google Doc and writing an outline.
I'm stuck in a cycle, but it's a lot less interesting. It's maybe equally as pathetic. But hey, oh boy, Evangelion. It's a good show.
One of the best shows ever made.
Hmm. It's
Yeah, life
it's
changing.
yeah, it's great. And I don't know. I think I've now watched the movie, I think three times or four maybe. And I think this last time I feel like I have a much better handle on it. Although, there's still a million. And everybody kind of argues on interpretations and stuff anyway. So who knows? But it's really good. It's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Um any other big anime come across your plate lately? Coming to mind even?
What? Oh, I just finished Apothecary Diaries. I just caught up on that.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Highly
That's
recommend.
great.
Have you watched?
Yeah,
Yeah, so good.
that's great.
I binged the first season in 2 days.
Hmm.
Because I got back from Japan and I was jet lagged, and I was like, oh, I'll watch this cute show my friend told me about. And then about halfway through, it does not get cute and it gets
Yeah.
real depressing. And but also highly recommend because it's a really fun Sherlock Holmes type of mystery of the week. I was like, what if it's House? What if House was like led by an autistic girl in like ancient China who really liked poison?
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it is. It is. That's what I was thinking too. It's very Sherlocky. It's very
Hmm.
House. But yeah, it's interesting because when I heard the name and when I was like first starting to watch it, I was like, "Oh, I get this. It's like a Monster of the Week show where there's like some issue and she has to find like the herb because there's just some herb that she
Yeah.
knows of." And it's like that's not what it is. It's not just like, and here's this herb and it does that and here's it's like no, this is like forensic science in like feudal Japan or whatever.
And then everyone dealing with the aftermath of the previous emperor, who
Hmm.
is a terrible monster.
Yeah, it's it's awesome. And it's also like it does the thing. I feel like have you seen Delicious in Dungeon?
Yes, obsessed.
Yeah, it like that show has it too, where it starts small, it gets bigger, and as it gets bigger, it lays out like a macro plot so cleanly and organically that it doesn't feel like we're setting up dominoes and they're gonna fall. It's just like, oh, we're calling back to this, and now it's like a fucking big deal all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It's really impressively laid out, which is, the kind of thing that I think coming from a manga uh
Mhm.
does for a series. It's
Yeah.
great.
Same with Freerun.
Hmm.
If you've watched that,
Yeah.
that's just emotionally devastating, but also so tender. And you're like, oh, yeah, I guess I need to hug my friends every day after watching that. But the story is just like unfolds so nicely and expands on this world. Can't wait for season 2.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah.
I was watching it with my girlfriend and we stopped watching it at about like the Wizard tournament, a couple
Hmm.
episodes into the Wizard tournament, because it gets kind of like just straight up shonen-y in a
Yeah.
which it's still like good, but like I when I was explaining to her, I was like these early episodes are like they're just so unique in like Miyazaki core, and they're like spiritual and they breathe, they're like really like zenned out and stuff, and then it just kind of becomes very very tropey, which again, I mean, I watch a billion fucking shonens and stuff, but I was more excited to show her the early stuff, and then she was getting a little fatigued and I was like, yeah, there's
Yeah.
more like plot that happens, but you do really have to wade through a lot of like now they're fighting a golem or whatever.
Yeah, thankfully it's only like what, like 5 or 6 episodes instead of
Hmm.
the whole series, which was
Yeah.
nice. But yeah, I definitely was like, oh, okay, I'm not real. I didn't want to watch this to watch a tournament
Yeah,
anime,
exactly.
but I'm glad it went where it went.
Hmm.
It made sense that it needed to have that, but yeah,
Yeah, and I feel like, it does get somewhere more emotional towards the end, but yeah. But that's anime, folks. Um, what am I watching? I watch a lot of like I don't know. It's maybe rude to say or whatever, but just like trash anime. I don't know.
you watch
Uh,
hentai.
no, but that's quality. Now that's quality. But like there's one called Dealing with the Mikadono Sisters is a Breeze, and it's like
Okay.
there's these three sisters who are like at the top of the class in like their respective like games and stuff, and then this kid whose mom was like a super talented actress, but he's like completely talentless, and everyone's like, why aren't you good at stuff? Your mom was such a good actress, which is like such a weird plot contrivance.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, I'm not good at stuff. And his mom dies, and he gets sent to live with these sisters, and they're like, but you suck at everything. And he's trying to get like acceptance because his mom was like, oh, you should get a family. Like that's what matters in life is having a family. And so he's like, I'm all in on like having a family. I want to be a family with these sisters. And they're like, but we only care about like striving. And
Hmm.
it's just, I don't know. First of all, a lot of that could be like a really good, or that has the bones to be something. And it might get somewhere better, but it's just kind of like flat. It's not terrible. It's just fine. I've been not binging, but over the course of the last several years, I've been going through like every Yu-Gi-Oh series. So,
Wow.
um, which is
How's that going?
it's a mess. There's what I'm watching right now is called Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V, and it's about this guy who's convinced that duels should be for entertainment and not for battle because there's like an interdimensional war being fought using cards, and he's like, this is wrong. And then and so he's fighting against people who are like, you don't understand. This isn't a game. It's for killing people, and it's like it's literally a game. What do you want? Like it's called a card game. Like what? You can't say this isn't a game about a game.
He watched Hunger Games once.
Yeah, exactly. And so he's like acrobating around. It's really contrived. His deck is like a circus deck.
Okay.
It's a mess. But I don't know. Something appeals to me about a card game anime. I have this idea that's completely not doable because it's just non-functional, but I want to do like something like Yu-Gi-Oh but for Magic. But
Mhm.
Magic is so much more balanced than Yu-Gi-Oh. Like Yu-Gi-Oh is about like I have a billion creatures and you're at one life and you have zero cards in your hand and you draw one card and you completely revert. And Magic, like you basically can't do that.
Yeah.
But I think it would be cool to try. But then if you like shot it, I don't know, you also would want like animated monsters or something, and that's
Hmm.
not tenable. So there's just like no way this is a functional idea, but I really want to. I certainly like the idea of, and this isn't even something really that happens, even when people are really into it. Like when people play Magic, they aren't like going like, oh, I summon this, like you don't even talk like that. Like no one does that, not even as a joke. But I think that would be fun too somehow. I got to figure it out.
Have you read the Magic the Gathering manga?
Yeah, I've been reading that.
Tutorial Humans?
They can't be
Be
regenerated.
regenerated? I need to, it's just a manga, right? There's no anime.
No, there's not.
Okay,
Although it might
cool.
get an anime at some point. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I need to read it. It's been on my list.
It's great. I'm current now. I just got up to current
Uh-huh.
yesterday actually, but it's great. It's like Yu-Gi-Oh is straight up like, I mean, there's a plot, like they're like, oh, someone took my grandpa's soul or whatever, but like every episode is like we're playing like a bunch of card games, and this is like half we're playing card games and half like a romance manga, and
Great.
and so I think like.
It's like a high school slice of life kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's good, but like that means like it's not as play by play about a single game of cards the way
Hmm.
Yu-Gi-Oh is, but I think like it ends up feeling like that. Like you don't in Yu-Gi-Oh you literally see almost every single turn and every single move in every single turn. But in this, it's like they'll skip 3 turns because this is like a crucial turn where things are happening, and it's really well done in that sense. And then they always do best of 3, and
Hmm.
they'll sometimes skip entire games. So it'll be like, I won this game, we're skipping the next game, he lost the next game, and now we're on game 3 or whatever. Or vice versa.
Hmm.
And it's great. It's set in like it starts being set, I think, in 1998, which I have a lot of nostalgia for as a Magic player. Which was like the dawn of Tempest block, and then it goes into Urza Saga block, which Urza Saga was famous for being like the most combo broken set or block ever. It almost killed the game or whatever, supposedly. And So like if you want it to be like Yu-Gi-Oh, this is when like Magic was the most Yu-Gi-Oh. You could just do bullshit with no
Hmm.
mana, like and get infinite mana and stuff. And the games are like that. There's like really dynamic stuff, and it's awesome. It's like so cool. And you get different archetypes. Like the main character plays Suicide Black, which was the first kind of deck I ever played. It's where you have a lot of cards that hurt yourself, but you're just trying to beat down the opponent as fast as possible.
Hmm.
And so I'm like, I totally identify. I had like a deck just like this,
Yeah.
and like that's his most of his whole deal. And he starts to like learn how to use other colors and different
Hmm.
strategies and stuff. It's awesome. It's great. Like the love interest is a white weenie player who specializes in Armageddon and Wrath of God, and she starts to broaden her gameplay to more like tight synergies and stuff, and kind of combos. And then there's like a player that's like a blue counter magic player. There's like a crazy combo player. It's great. It's a truly amazing anime or manga, and
Hmm.
in no small part because it's so not just about the games. Like it's about
Yeah.
like the community of Magic and how it's fun as a hobby, and it's fucking great.
Yeah, there's a really big magic community in Japan, and now that I'm playing, next time I go over, I might try to go to one of their game nights.
Mhm,
I was like, I was watching some YouTube video about it, and this guy who I think like is like half Japanese, half American, he like started like a play club in Tokyo somewhere that like doesn't matter if you don't speak English or Japanese, you can just still play with people. And
mhm.
I was like, oh, it looks really fun. So next time I'm over there, I want to check it out.
That's awesome. I'm
Yeah.
jealous. That's cool. Magic the Gathering, Japan, other
Uh,
things.
yeah. Yeah, I've truly been magic pilled this year.
I know. I'm excited. It's.
And
I
it's
love. Yeah. Go ahead.
great. No, no,
Yeah.
no. It's so fun. I'm trying to get another group of girls playing. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know how to do it. I don't know what kind of content it would be, podcast or YouTube or something, but I definitely want to do some content that's magic related. I I like, and maybe this is because I suck or something, but I like playing with beginners more than more
Hmm.
established players. I've been playing a long time, but I wouldn't say my skill level is super, super high. But I just like, I don't know. I think I feel like the way I like to play is more compatible with people that haven't gotten super optimized into. But I don't know. I've wanted to do something like that.
Well,
Like,
you're a great teacher. So,
thanks. But yeah, it's good. Oh, one other thing I was going to say is that Duel
mhm.
Masters, it's a card game. It was also an anime and a manga, but I just found out, I think it was, they talked about it in the Magic manga, but
Uh-huh.
the first like arc of Duel Masters, they just played Magic the Gathering. and then
Oh,
and then after that they invented Duel Masters to play that, which I kind of want to read that first arc because that
oh,
seems
that's
really interesting.
cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That sounds very interesting. But yeah, now you've got me very excited to read Destroy All Humans. They can't be regenerated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. Although I'm curious to see, I mean, you can look all the stuff up, but I'm curious to know how well you track it because um, they explain like practically what's happening, but
Hmm.
they don't like you don't necessarily see all the card text. Like,
Okay.
so there's kind of like I know all the cards
Yeah.
and a lot of the decks I know about too. And some of the decks I knew about, but I was younger and didn't understand it too well. Like there's this deck, it was called like Mono Brown or something, Mono Brown Control. I don't know. And my friend had that deck and we would play with it, but I did not play with it in an optimized way at all. And then like seeing it in the manga, I was like, oh, that's how you're supposed to do it, which was cool. But yeah, so I'm curious to know if there's anything that doesn't translate super well, but it's really
Yeah,
good.
because I definitely don't know every card. I'll like look at a card or someone's like plays it and they say the name and I go, oh, yeah, that sounds scary. And I
Yeah.
just nod along and then hope they explain the card to me.
Yeah. It's tough because you don't want to like be all grabby and like everything they play, just be like, give me that and look at it. But I go to these commander parties sometimes, and I've gotten to the habit of I just pull out my phone all the time, and when they announce a card, I just look it up, and that way I don't
Hmm.
have to like look like an idiot or like pull attention or grab the card or whatever. But yeah, it's a lot. But
Everyone's been really nice though that I've met in the Magic community so far.
mhm,
I was playing and Commander with like some other newer players, and this one guy came by and was like overheard us playing, and he came by and like asked about our decks, and we were telling him the pre-cons we were playing, and he was like, oh my God. And then he just was like offered some advice, and not even advice. He was just like, oh, here are some cards you can swap in that I think would help because of XYZ. And I was like, that's very nice of you. And he was just like, have fun, and then walked away. And I was like, good to know. Would never have thought about that. So that was very
Yeah,
nice of him.
that's awesome. I wanted to talk about your deck. You made a new deck, right? A commander
Yes.
deck.
The one I won the other night with you and our
Didn't you win twice? Who won the first game?
you won.
I didn't win the first game, did
No,
I?
no, no, Landon won.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no,
That's
Landon was really mean with whatever. Or he was playing, that was when we were playing all the Final Fantasy pre-cons.
yeah. I don't know what he played. The second time he played Y'shtola, but I don't know what he was playing the first time.
No, 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 I think first time he was playing with Stola, second time he played his Doctor Who deck.
Yes, that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, he won the first one and then I won the second one. But
Hmm.
I built a Emmett Selk deck.
Hmm.
And it's the second deck I built. My first deck was a Halson green white deck. And this is a blue black deck, which I've never really played blue before. So this has been very fun to be chaotic. Shout out to Jonathan who convinced me to switch to blue. Uh, and yeah, it's basically a milling deck and playing from your graveyard, which I realize has a double-edged sword because when Emmett Selk, when there's enough, when there's 14 or more cards in my graveyard, the card flips. But the new trigger, then anything that would go to my graveyard now gets exiled, and so that really messes things up because I've built this deck purely to put stuff in the graveyard.
Hmm.
So having to strategize around that has been challenging, but also very fun.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because you can play cards from your graveyard,
Mhm.
but you can't refill your graveyard more. It's
Yeah,
like you
so
almost need a way to get rid of them occasionally, you know?
yeah, he's good to like sacrifice or even just not even bringing until like the end when your graveyard has way more already. And
Hmm.
he immediately just and in your upkeep the next round you can transform him once you get the majority of your cards in your graveyard. But yeah, it's been interesting. I'm very surprised I won that game.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
no,
was
you're doing
really
great.
insane.
It was awesome. I yeah, I have I don't know. Sometimes I worry about like how explanatory I need to be because not
Hmm.
everyone who plays Magic, but also the people who don't play Magic, I'm sure their like ears glaze over too. So it's
Hmm.
like it's probably not super important. But I was playing a Zedruu deck, which is like my shenanigans deck. I've messed with it a bunch of times, but the problem is like fundamentally what it tries to do is get some of the most crazy, annoying cards that you wouldn't ever play with and get them out and give them to your opponents, which is super frustrating. And so, like, it's hard to balance that because I don't like being an asshole, but also it's really funny to give people
Yeah.
like stuff. I had this card in my hand all game that was at the end of your turn, discard your hand. And I could have given that to someone, especially because everybody had copies of a card that let you only play one card per turn. So, like I wanted to play that, but I was like, this is mean on top of like everything else. So I'm trying to tweak it. I like the main thing that the deck does is the more people have stuff the more people have your own stuff that you've donated to them, the more cards you draw and life you gain. So I kind of just need like stuff that is someone else's, like someone else can take. It doesn't need to be like you get this like cock block kind of card,
Hmm.
necessarily. But I actually bought some cards that are just like they change hands a lot. That I'm gonna put into the deck and make it maybe a little less sandbaggy or something because I like the deck a lot, but I don't like I literally can't play it to its the way it's supposed to be because I feel bad about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I thought you did like a good job with it because it got the heat off of you and it
Hmm.
got me and Landon back into our hatred for each other. Just kidding. Truly a good friend of mine. But yeah, we had this rivalry going on that came in from game one. But
Hmm.
I thought that was a very fun tactic you did. And yeah, it didn't make anyone go after you until the
Yeah.
end when we all kind of started figuring out how to get rid of your copies and cards that you were playing.
Y- Yeah, which everybody had to pay like 7 mana per creature to attack me anyway. But yeah, like the thing is I can do little stuff that's annoying and I can gain
Mhm.
life and draw cards. But other than that, there's not a lot I can do because all the deck is like, here's a bad card that you give to someone. Here's another. And so it's like, well, what am I supposed to do? Like, I'm drawing all these cards and none of them do anything other than screw people over. Like,
Mhm.
so I don't know. I had an earlier version of it, which just there's a kind of card that's called chaos magic, where it just like makes absurd, hard to predict things happen. Like there's a card called confusion in the ranks, which is I don't know. There's confusion in the ranks in another one of them. And one of them is anytime you target anything, anytime anyone targets anything with a spell or ability, you reselect its target at random. So for instance, destroy target creature. You now have to roll a dice to see like which creature gets destroyed randomly. And then there's another card. It's like whenever a creature or permanent comes into play, like someone else randomly gets it or they randomly trade, and so no one gets their own stuff. It's all, and it's like those I took out of it because then it's like it's just too complicated, like and no one wants to do anything because they're like, I'll
Mhm.
just get punished, and that's like, and then you're just like, hey, look, I killed fun, I ruined the game. So I had
But
to
I
tweak
think
it a
if
lot.
you're playing with people who know you're going to be aggro, like I was playing the other day with a couple friends, and we all realized collectively that this was going to be an aggro game, but
Mhm.
with fun in it. And so we all kind of just made an agreement to like, let's just go balls to the walls with this. It was over very quickly because someone got very aggro, but it was like in good fun, and we
Well,
all
they flipped the
like
table.
yeah, yeah. We all enjoyed just watching him wipe the blood off like the floor with all of his cards. And we were like, okay, well you just you won, so good for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it can be fun if everyone is cool. If everyone's like, well, I'm going to do my worst. I'm going to do the worst I can, and you're like, great.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is I have this like personal block where it gets into like my healing fantasy and people pleasing like kind of
Hmm.
attitudes where it's like we're all playing a game. It's like you would in Monopoly there's not a person who's like, "Oh, well I don't want to buy this property because what if someone lands on it?" That's not how you play games, but that's like how I approach games. I was like, "Well, I don't want anyone to be mad at me by me trying to win the game." And
Hmm.
it's just like I don't know. I gotta go to a therapist and a giant robot about it, I think.
Yeah, you gotta talk to Marnie. Or not
Yeah,
Mari. Mari. I don't know
yeah,
why I said Marnie.
it's all good.
Yeah, you gotta talk to Mari, and she'll help you.
Yeah, hopefully. And then I'll wake up and I'll be like,
Yeah,
holy shit, magic doesn't exist.
but then you create it, and then you become a
Right.
billionaire.
Well, oh, there's an idea.
Yeah,
How do we do this? How
this
do
it's that movie where the Beatles don't exist.
Mhm. That would be that would be great. The Beatles that don't exist, but it's magic. And it's like, how do
Hmm.
I don't even know. I don't remember how the game works. I don't remember all the cards. But that could be good. What else? What else magic wise? So do you want to talk about your Halson deck a little bit?
Yeah, that was the first deck I built. I made it purely because I love Halsin from Baldur's Gate.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it would be funny to make a deck for my video game boyfriend, my wired boyfriend, as
Sure.
some would say.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I just had no idea what I was doing with that deck. It ended up becoming a like token, just creating tokens. Um, and now that I understand the game a little more, understand deck building, I probably will come back to it and try to tweak it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because the first time I made it, like the first round of it, it really was not doing anything, and I was not like I didn't know how to play it. But now that I've bought new cards and I've like tried new things with it, it's a little easier. But I have abandoned it at least for now to focus
Sure.
on my Emmett Selk deck and go full goblin mode. Um, but I do want to go back to it. It has made me hello waffle. It
Aw.
has made me want to build the Shrufus deck that people online seem to like.
What is that deck?
The Shroofus commander deck. He basically just
Rufus.
makes like mushroom tokens.
Oh,
The
yes.
Saproling guy.
Sapperlings are so cool. Yeah.
Yeah. But I just like his design is really cute and he just makes it he makes tokens really, really quickly. So I might try to like build that and then use that to help me update my Halson deck.
That's cool. Yeah, Shrufus Sproutsire. What
Yeah.
great art.
Right. But I like
Yeah.
Halson because he, coming in as a commander, I believe he allows you to turn your tokens into 4/4 bears on top of anything that they already are.
Hmm.
So
Right.
that's like fun just to like I need to like just kind of make sure I can create a ramp and just start making 1/1s like quickly and having it work for me because I was
Hmm.
kind of coming at it as a more of an attack deck and it's definitely not that. It is yeah, I learned the hard way going up
Yeah.
against some of my fiance who had like a red dragon deck and I was like, well, I'm dead within 2 turns.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild. So what kind of decks does your fiance have? I mean, I know he has like a billion, but are there any more of like a kind of handmade
He upgraded his vampire deck from that vampire precon. I forgot the name
Edgar
of it.
Markov?
Yes, I believe that is the
Okay,
one.
yeah.
So he upgraded that and it's really mean.
Yeah.
And I truly hated playing him because whenever he played it, because it was just like blood token after blood token. But watching him play it with other people who actually had like decks that could go up against it was very fun. Because he made a lot of people mad and just like watching him like it was like he's playing Commander one time and 2 people were out. So it was him and the last person and he was top decking and he literally was just like cashing in all his blood tokens and hoping that that card he drew was going to win and he won that way and it was very fun to watch.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
Edgar Markov. That card I think is like $100. Like that's a very like
Hmm.
powerful deck archetype.
Yeah, he put a good chunk into that deck.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for him.
I have the precon, but I haven't touched it. I got it at
Hmm.
MSRP, but yeah. Okay. What else? What else? What else? I'm working on a Genova deck right now.
Oh, what does
Um
that do?
Genova, Ancient Calamity. She's a 1/5. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you put a number of +1/+1 counters equal to her power onto one other creature, and then that creature becomes a mutant. And whenever a mutant you control dies on your turn, you draw cards equal to its power. So I'm having a lot of it's like a +1/+1 counter deck, with cards that boost +1/+1
Hmm.
counters. It's it's mutants, which unfortunately most of the mutants come from the Fallout commander deck sets. So it's
Oh,
like
does it have what's it called? Radiation tokens
there's a couple, although I think I
or the
maybe
radiation
cut
counter?
two
Sorry.
of those. Yeah, yeah, it does. It has some of those, but not a ton. I probably should have more because black green has a lot of graveyard synergy. So dumping cards in your graveyard is like a decent strategy.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think it had two or three, and then there was maybe a couple more that I ended up cutting. I'm not sure. Um, but it's been a bit since I looked at it. But yeah, I bought a bunch of cards in the mail that haven't shown up yet, and that should be able to finish this off. But yeah, it's mutants. It's +1/+1 counters. It's hopefully drawing a bunch of cards. I think I need to like mess around, like just playing it and see how it feels before making it tweaking it because
Hmm.
I think one of the things is it's Genova is like a 1/5 and her ability is based on her power. So I think I also just need like either like combat tricks or like green enchantments to just boost her power because unless she gets +1/+1 counters, she's only going to be putting like one counter on things. But if you're really going off, she can be putting like 8 counters on stuff every turn or something.
Ah, cool.
Yeah. So it's
Well, let me
cool.
know when you finish. I want to play against it, see it in action.
Yeah, I gotta get it together. I'll definitely be letting you know. But yeah, I don't know. Magic is so I've been playing Magic for like so long and I have like so many like weird memories. I get that in terms of like making content and stuff. I kind of want to figure out a way to like just go into that. Like I feel like uh there's almost a version where I could go through like someone's deck and almost like most I get there's so many new cards that I don't have a lot of experiences with, but like so many cards, it's like I could tell you like a story about that card in my life or something, you know. But you know, whatever. It's
I would listen to a show where each episode is like a different deck and you're going
mhm.
through it.
Yeah.
That sounds
Thanks.
cool.
Yeah, I actually did. I did a couple a long time ago, but I was writing some like I guess you'd call them articles or blogs or whatever
Mhm.
on my Patreon that were basically going through like either a deck that I currently have or one that I used to have back in the day, and you know talking about all of my like memories and the synergies of the deck and stuff associated with it. It didn't get a ton of traction because I have fans that play Magic, but there's not a ton of overlap between it. That's the thing. That's the hard thing about being Spencer is there's not a lot of overlap between Spencer fans and fans of like any of the stuff that I like. So it's kind of like either I'm just talking out of my ass and people are like, "Oh, we love this shit," or I'm like talking about something I'm really passionate about, and they're like, you bring back Spencer. We just want him in the general sense," and it's like that sucks. Like, because I hate myself. I'm like, I hate myself. I mean, maybe not.
Okay,
You know.
Shinji.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, it's a very relatable,
No, it is.
very, very relatable. I
Very
mean,
relatable. Yeah, I say like watching it at 13 like was terrible, like insane, but also it was extremely relatable. And it
mhm,
really helped me understand like my depression at 13 and like understand like, oh, there is a like this is okay to feel this way and like
mhm.
it's not weird. Um, Granted, I was not trying to like destroy or save the world. But eighth grade was hard.
Yeah. I was trying to destroy the world, but in a very
Oh, good for
roundabout
you.
fashion.
Good for
I
you.
I had this friend in high school who he was like one of these guys like Kevin who lies all the time about
Mhm.
everything. But one of the things that I think was semi-truthful, maybe not as true, maybe it was exaggerated a bit, but he would take a screwdriver to school and he would just undo a screw here and there whenever he could. The idea being like I'm just slowly disassembling, you know,
Uh,
structures in my presence.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's awesome. Like just imagining like one day the whole school falls apart, you
Yeah.
know. He's
Oh
like,
my God.
haha, you can't prove it or whatever.
Yeah, you'll never know. Meanwhile, I just had the stereotypical dudes who had death notes.
Yeah.
And I was on one of them.
That's
Woo!
that's cool.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
a fun
flex.
achievement
Yeah.
to make someone's death note list.
That's like you can't be having death notes these days. Like I think like you should be if you have a death note, you're on a list. You should be on a list of some
Yeah.
sort, you know, like
I did have a death note notebook,
mm,
but I used it to write emo poetry and fan fiction.
as it should be, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, what a what a great episode. I loved all of the things we talked about and I loved talking about them. What about you?
Same. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, same. Kevin?
Kevin. Kevin, cut yourself responding in just the best way possible. Just like the funniest, coolest shit. Probably this should be the highlight of the episode is whatever you
Hmm.
cut into here, Kevin.
This is what we've been building up to.
Yeah. And it's like it's full of callbacks. It's like a
Yeah,
thematic full circle moment. Like
it's a
it's
fart.
yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah. That's and then wow. You really said it, Kevin. Wow. That's incredible. Congratulations
Um,
indeed.
yeah, but you'll have to come on Romance the Normie.
And we got to have you back on and your host and do a
Hmm.
more romancing focused episode, I think.
What kind of monster would you want to read about?
Um what about Dolahan?
A what?
A Dolahan, is that something?
What's that?
A Dolahan is a writer who is headless. Sometimes they hold their head in their arm,
Okay.
and sometimes their head is emblazoned on their shield,
Okay.
and sometimes they just don't have a head any which way.
I'm sure it exists. It is, I don't think we have one on our current reading list right
Uh-huh.
now, but I can look for that.
Okay. Awesome.
We did just record one about the Slender Man, so anything is possible.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a book. There's a book about the Slender Man.
There is, but they had to call it a Slender for legal reasons.
Hmm. Okay.
It's called How to uh what was it? How to romance a slender, or how to seduce a slender.
That's good alliteration, sibilance. I love
Hmm.
it.
Um,
What about the Bye Bye Man? Is there a book about romancing the Bye Bye Man?
I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm there must be. We've done a lot of minotaurs.
Hmm.
We're doing a
Classic.
couple of mermaids,
Hmm.
merman.
I should
Although
hope.
one was just a merman. I think this next one I'm about to read is a mermaid.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I mean death, liches,
Hmm.
what else? Gargoyles. You
Hmm.
name it. This if it is a creature, then someone has written their kink about it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's until unless there's no Dullahan stuff, but we'll
Then
find.
you won't be on.
Yeah, I do feel like there's got to be something there. There
Yeah.
is something kind of like gothic and
Hmm.
Victorian about Dullahan, so it does
Hmm.
feel like someone's done something.
Yeah.
Otherwise it'll just have to be like a horde of goblins. Is that romancing like
Uh,
seven goblins?
I don't know about seven, but we haven't recorded it yet, but we read one that was called Goblin Candy or something. That was a goblin romance set around
Wow,
Halloween.
awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks so much for coming on. Do you have anything to plug? Romancing the Normie on podcasts.
Yeah, listen to that. It's on Spotify and Apple Podcasts with me and my co-host Harmony. It's silly. Enjoy it. Please watch Harley Quinn on Max. Read Harley Quinn. Also read Deadpool.
Hmm.
Um, and sometimes I'm on Twitch. And I'm trying to do more of it. I'm going to try that new Silent Hill game that just came out or is coming out, I've never played one before, so I'm excited. But
Oh, awesome.
you can find me on socials under Alexis Quasar, or Blue Sky under Beetlejuice.
Wow. Well, awesome. Thanks so much. We like to end the show the same time or at the same time we do every night. So until next time, it's 7 p.m. Goodbye, folks.